Hi there, it's Barry Coons from Define tomorrow at VMworld in Barcelona. I'm joined by Chuck of Tintri. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
So last time we met at VMworld last year in Barcelona. It was really a good learning experience for me to catch up on what you guys were doing at Tintri, and we were reflecting on the change in the storage industry.
Right.
The fact that people are looking to embrace the cloud, but there's complexities around embracing the cloud, and how almost Tintri were allowing people to bridge that gap between on-premise and the cloud. Maybe we can just start again by reflecting on that and where you are with that.
Yeah, I mean, I think the last time we spoke was much more focused on the storage aspect of what we do, and that's still really the foundation of what Tintri delivers as a storage building block for building both virtualized and cloud environments. But what we've seen over the past 18 months is a lot of our large enterprise customers who were maybe dipping their toes in cloud or hadn't really had a real experience of moving workloads into either public clouds or building their own private clouds have had those experiences now. And I think that there's a lot of lessons learned that folks are bringing back to the CIO. One is that not every workload belongs in Amazon or in another public cloud provider. Lift and shift doesn't work for most workloads. And if you're going to refactor or redesign your application for the cloud, that adds a lot of expense and time. So doing a real analysis of what the costs and the benefits are of that. One of our customers, Shire Pharmaceuticals, which we have a case study on our website, they love the agility that public cloud gives them, the fact that developers and end users can just order infrastructure without really having to worry about infrastructure. But like I said, public cloud's not always the best fit from a cost perspective, from an SLA perspective. So they wanted to build in-house. So they looked at us, along with Cisco UCS. They looked at more traditional converged infrastructures. They looked at some of the hyper-converged players that have been very successful in remote office, branch office, SMB, departmental contexts, at eliminating that need for storage expertise. And then they also looked at public cloud, and with a third-party analyst firm, they determined that Tintri really provided the storage experience that they were looking for. That was self-driving, self-healing, and very low maintenance from a traditional standpoint, so that they could build their private cloud with a lot of the same functionality and agility they were excited about Amazon and other public cloud providers, but do it on-prem. And we see a lot of our customers looking at that now.
I think flexibility is really important. As you touched upon there, public cloud isn't for everybody or every workload, but potentially a lot of workloads will have to travel through those various different locations in their lifetime. So you touched upon developers like the flexibility of going there, be able to put the credit card details, roll something out very quickly, but then maybe over long term, actually it should belong back in on-premise. So I think any solutions people are investing in today should be simple to use and should be flexible to allow that movement. And it sounds like that's something that you're working towards.
Yeah. So our technology is really value-added software on top of enterprise-grade hardware. So we have all-flash and hybrid arrays, but the most important thing about what we do is we enable the kind of agility, the developers and other non-IT people to manage their own lives from that standpoint. So we think it's really important, for example, to have to be able to say yes to a new project very quickly, both in terms of having faith in the infrastructure that you have, but also having lots of data analytics intelligence about not only can I do it now with the infrastructure that I have, but maybe I need to add something to my infrastructure to support a new project. What exactly do I need? So we've added a capability last year for predictive storage analytics that builds on a lot of the data that our customers have been sending us for up to 3 to 4 years in our auto support program. We have metadata around their storage usage that's directly connected to the VMs and the applications. It's not tied to some weird storage LUN or volume thing. So we've been able to help our customers look at their organic growth trends, but also to simulate what would it take to add another 100 developers to my team? Do I have enough storage? Assuming that they all behave like the 500 developers I have today, do I have enough storage to accommodate them? When will I need to buy storage? What kinds of storage, whether it should be hybrid or all flash? And to that, we've added compute analytics. Okay. So now we're going to be collecting information about CPU memory, so that you'll be able to look into the future and say, yes, I can accommodate maybe those 100 developers from a storage standpoint, but I need 20 more servers to accommodate that kind of workload. And that's the kind of power that we want to enable while making the day-to-day management a breeze and again, really autonomous from that standpoint.
I think that's really important. I was interviewing NVIDIA before, and one element they were saying is you can't really have management without kind of monitoring.
Right.
And it gels very well with what you're saying there, and having the ability to create what-if scenarios to actually understand what you need to do to help you plan for the future is really important. So interesting to see Tintri. Obviously, a lot of people think of you as a hardware company. It's really pushing on that software angle of you guys now being an analytics company underneath it all.
Yeah.
So obviously looking at the wider conference, there's a few themes here, looking at storage, looking at security, traditional infrastructure, security and workspace transformation. Any thoughts around the conference yourself, either from you personally or for Tintri?
Yeah, I mean, we've seen come to fruition a lot of the announcements that VMware made last year. I think folks are really excited about the connectivity with AWS and being able to bridge that gap. We're also on a journey to try to help our customers to connect their on-prem to other cloud services and environments. We've introduced a cloud connector for data protection, either to Amazon S3 or to IBM Cloud Object Storage. It's a first of many planned enhancements to our platform to help our customers to use the best cloud for the best use case, whether that's on-prem private, or whether that's a hosted public cloud, or maybe even a regional service provider that's providing very specialized functionality. I think too the constant news around companies in the hyper-converged space. I think the acknowledgement maybe a year ago, it was all about you have to have compute and storage in the same box. And to cluster storage through the network in a particular way to be called hyper-converged. And folks like NetApp and others are saying, really what hyper-converged is about is getting to that place where you don't need to have a specialist and very low-level hardware in your team anymore. You can redeploy those folks to do more interesting things. And so whether if it's a true hyper-converged, like some of the players like Nutanix and others, or it's vSAN, or it's NetApp, or it's Tintri, we think we offer a lot of the same value proposition of a hyper-converged in that you can have just application and virtualization experts that don't have to know anything about storage managing everything in the environment. But we fundamentally believe that, at least for our enterprise customers who are much larger than some of the SMBs and remote offices, that in that core data center you want to have the ability to scale storage separately from compute, separately from network, because different customers, different workloads have very different requirements, and it can be kind of a relief to have that scalability on all of those dimensions and still get huge operational benefits.
Definitely. I think, as VMware said, it's all about breaking down the silos, and no matter which way you look at this, whether this is on-premise versus Azure, whether this is network admin versus storage management versus virtualization admin, it's about breaking down those silos, making it easier, allowing the IT team to now focus on what really matters, which is the user and the business. Stop focusing on the technology and focus on what matters. The technology will then naturally come behind that. So thank you ever so much for joining me. It's been a pleasure to meet again. It's been Barry Coombs from Define Tomorrow. Thank you.